Good afternoon. My name is Brian Makris. I'm here with Home Choice Lending today. And today is our first podcast, and I have two good friends of mine that are joining us today, and we're going to talk a little bit about what they do. But first, I'm going to talk a little bit about what this podcast is all about. It's Grit Matters. And for us in this business world, we are constantly grinding. If you're in the real estate community and you're out there working, showing houses in the trenches, writing offers, trying to figure out escalation clauses, getting your customer in there, waiving home inspections, doing everything we can in the trenches to try to get a transaction to come together. And on the lending side, we're trying to figure out how to use extra overtime, how to get dividend income in there, how to use rental income, how to get seller pays, how to get a gift, how to make sure the house meets lending criteria, and we're constantly in the trenches on that and trying to get somebody there and get them to the closing table with a smile on their face so we can fulfill these dreams. So grit matters, and you got to grind on every one of these transactions. But we also have Patrick Torres, who's a licensed loan officer here in the state of New Hampshire and state of Massachusetts. And Patrick, are you also licensed in Maine?
I am as well. 3 states.
Nice, man. And we're glad to have you on the Home Choice Lending team. Thanks for being with us today. And we're going to talk about our special guests here today because this will be a quick podcast to talk a little bit about who they are and what they're doing. First of all, they helped us put all of us together, the pictures, the microphones, the equalizers, the little things with all the buttons and dashes on it. It's incredible. But first, I want to get into it here. We're going to scroll over, and we got a little stuff. So I want to say hi, and I want to meet the team here of what we got here. So we have Brandon and Cherie with S&B Connections. Brandon, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you do? And don't forget to speak into the mic.
Sure. Okay. So my name is Brandon. I am the B in S&B Connections. So we obviously do photography. We do videography. We do a bunch of different things that you'll see shortly. My partner in crime is Cherie.
Hi, Cherie.
Hi.
Also my wife. So we are a husband and wife team. We've been doing this for about 5 years, and we've been growing ever since. So we started out just doing standard just photography for drone and photos, and over the past 5 years, we've got into a bunch of other things.
Awesome. And Cherie, so what's your active role in this business besides co-creator of it, or are you full creator and dragged him along?
Yeah, that's kind of how it went.
All right, fair enough. So what does your day-to-day look like, and how involved are you in with the customers and the photography and the things that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much the lead photographer, and I handle all of the scheduling and the deliveries, and I do a lot. So, and Brandon focuses mainly on the Matterport and the video.
Okay.
But yeah, Cherie pretty much is she's 70, maybe 90% on the other 10%.
All right.
So she handles basically from the intake, from the customer coming in to the outtake with the delivery system, getting everything back to the customer.
All right, I gotcha. So, and we're going to talk about a few more things. First, one of the things that I absolutely love is drone photography. I know that you're an FAA-approved drone licensed pilot. And that sounds like a pretty cool experience. You're telling me off the mics here that you would actually sit next to pilots and take a lot of these classes. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
So the book when going through this, it's actually kind of crazy. It's a book about this big that you have to learn, but it's not actually just about drone. It's about all the airspace the commercial flights are in and out of, how close you can be to a particular airport. When I went for my first initial license, the guy next to me was actually from Delta, and he was getting a couple certificates while he was there. So it was kind of cool to actually be at the Manchester airport, getting my license, sitting next to someone who does this for commercial airport.
Very cool. So then you go out here and you take this, and you can. I mean, it looks like you got mountains and ski resorts, and I saw a house there, and you're using this application with customers all over the state of New Hampshire. Where's the boundaries? I mean, are you drawing the line of just New Hampshire? Are you crossing over the borders into Massachusetts? Do you cross over into Maine? I mean, like this house, that's just gorgeous. I mean, where do you travel to, and really, what's your outreach here for New England?
So we work in pretty much all of New Hampshire. I mean, if someone called us from Berlin, that might not,
That's a tough
Yeah,
one.
that's
a tough
That's
one.
a tough one.
They better have a bed and breakfast, right?
Yeah.
And then you can swing in.
So basically, I'd say from the lakes regions down.
Okay.
But I wouldn't rule anything out. If we have a client who, we work with who has something that comes up that's, further north, we'll obviously go above and beyond to help them out. The Massachusetts is a big market for us.
Okay.
Anywhere from, I'd say, Worcester down to the Cape. We've been out to the Cape numerous times. We have done a couple properties in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
again, that's a case-by-case scenario because that's,
It does give you a completely different perspective of the area and how close you are. Like for some of these, how close you are to the city, whereabouts you're located in there. I find that this is kind of an incredible thing that's getting very popular out there. Most agents are even using it. So
You'll find too when you're seeing this, cycling through, you'll see some houses, but what a lot of clients are looking for is for those drone shots that are showing the city, showing
The area.
lakes, things like that, because they want to have an idea. They're able to show their potential customers how close they are to that relative space.
yeah, it gives them a great little snapshot of what's going on and where they sit on the lake or what it looks like coming in from the water. Perspectives that you don't always get. I love it. I can see why customers and agents are calling you for it. So when you talk about photography and the types of things that you guys are going out there, it looks like you guys are the leaders in there. You're taking great photos. I look at the iPhone photo, which could, give you this little tunnel vision. And then when you guys get involved, it seems like these pictures are showing, sections of the home that you don't typically see. So you're not using an iPhone or a Droid or anything like that, right?
No, we use actual cameras and wide angle lenses.
So it's a wide angle lens. It does give you a little better perspective on these. It gives you a better snapshot where you might only get one shot of a room, but if you get more of it, it can be helpful for the buyers out there to make this a process of elimination when buying that home, which is great. And it does look like you guys are working at dusk and getting some of the either dusk or dawn, depending on how early you're getting up. So these are great photos. And this is one of the things that when agents are calling you, they're saying, hey, this is where we're going to be. Can you come in? The lighting, are you taking lighting into consideration, the time of day, shadows, all of that stuff? I mean, do you ever have to go back because, hey, the lighting's just not right now?
We have done that before. If we can make it work, we will. Obviously, we don't like to bother sellers twice. But sometimes, we don't realize that a house is facing west and the sun is just blaring on it and making life a little difficult.
Gotcha.
Especially this time of year. This time of year is really difficult with the sun because because it rises and sets so fast, it's always in the way.
Gotcha.
Always. So yeah, if we always customer satisfaction is huge for us. So we do what we can to.
And if they're not happy, you guys do retakes. I'm guessing that you guys are taking that advanced approach, which is making it successful most of the time. And I saw that didn't go through. One of the other things that I'm starting to see more and more online when I look at your stuff is Matterport. I got to be honest with you, up until the last year, I didn't even know what it meant and what it was. But this is some pretty high technology that is starting to hit the mainstream out there. And you guys are on that cutting edge, on the leading edge. So tell me a little bit about how that works, Brandon, and how often you're using it, and is it an add-on? And is this something that people, especially with this pandemic going on, is this something where people are getting a better view of that home?
So the Matterport is a great service offering. It's a camera that basically you set it up and it actually does a full 360 spin and actually scans real time. And when it's scanning, it's not just scanning the room; it's actually scanning for measurements too.
Oh wow!
So there's a lot here that I don't think a lot of people even understand that you can really leverage this technology for your clients for your customers. So really, what the Matterport does is allows you to do for real estate. The real benefit to it is actually you have those open houses where you have everyone come in, go through it. You could leverage this to actually have a virtual open house. So you can schedule something where you do it online and actually have people walk through, sign in, walk through it to be able to see it without having to go there. Now, as you can see, what it does is it creates a dollhouse. And then what we do, we go a little step further, but these little pins will actually show you or tell you what that is. So this will tell you if it's a deck, and then maybe you can actually go out and view the deck, or if it's a closet. So that way there, if the door is closed, at least what's behind the door. The clarity is, it's
unbelievable.
Best in the market.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
So, again, it gives you an idea without having to go to the property, and this also leverages. I'm sure he's mentioned it plenty of times too, is where you're not just targeting your local market. You can target people overseas who are looking to come here. You can target people from other states, other countries, looking to come here, and they can actually leverage this to view it without having to make that extra trip to come over here to do so.
That's really cool. And then it looks like it designs a complete floor plan for you guys as well.
Yeah, so this is an option that if the client wants, basically it gives them a full layout of the actual, the building. So it gives you square footage, and then, the doors, closets, everything is labeled. This is something that you can do as well with the Matterport, and we also have technology that we can do it without. So if you just want the floor plan but don't want the Matterport walkthrough, we can do that.
We can do that as well.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I got to tell you, the dimensions, the setup, the doorways, the staircases, it's, to get an architect to go in and redraft that would cost you a fortune, and you guys have that technology. That's really, really cool. I got to tell you, very, very impressive. This is another thing. Patrick and I were talking recently. He was talking to one of the agents that he works with, does a lot of new construction. And he was talking about, the houses just don't show the same with empty rooms. It's tough to picture your bed. It's tough to picture where you're going to put your headboard and where the nightstand is and where the couch and TV is going to go. And him and I were talking about it, and I said, they are talking about virtual staging. I've heard you guys talk about it. So let's talk a little bit about what you've got going on here. Virtual staging. Tell me about that.
Virtual staging is basically, can be done a couple different ways. So one is we go to the property, we shoot the photos, and, after communicating, and through conversation, they want to virtually stage it. That would be something we do in post, where basically we, as you can see, add, if it's a bedroom, we can add the fixtures, different bedding.
So none of that furniture is in any of those rooms. The
No.
pool table doesn't exist.
Yep, they're all empty.
And does it just automatically, or are you picking out the furniture that you want to? Is it that flexible?
Yes, to a point, but we don't give it to we don't.
It's not. So if you want if your house to look
Contemporary
Contemporary,
or
right.
farmish
Yes.
or
that's the customization that we allow, because to allow somebody to pick every individual piece is
it would
just
take a year and you never get the
Yeah.
house on the market and it'll never sell.
Right.
And
Okay.
with the commitment we have for getting the photos back, it would just bog everything down. So if
Right.
you tell us you want it to be farmhouse or contemporary,
Here you go.
here you go.
Here you go. And we're familiar with it. We can drop it in. And I'm sure if they have nightstands, you can make them bigger or smaller so that if you like the nightstand, you like the color of it, you can make it fit. I got to tell you, it does change the way you look at houses. I look at a lot of homes in Florida and new construction, and they're using this technology down there. Not a lot of people up here are using it, but I feel like this is something that would be great in new construction, giving people a different view of what's going on.
And the thing I'd say too is depending on your budget, because if you're an investor, if you're an agent, depending on what your budget is or what you're expecting to get for, commissions, whatever it might be, physically staging the house might not be in the budget. So
correct.
this is a much more affordable option.
Absolutely.
It still gives you, the feel of what you can expect.
Especially if there's only a foundation there, and
Yep.
this is what the house is going to look like. And then they might shift at a later point to, hey, we're going to put a real couch in there, but this gets that interest going. So tell me a little bit about what we've got here.
So cinematic video is something we offer. Basically, it is an actual video walking the property, highlighting different aspects of the property. So it could be again pools.
And this just goes through and you take all these and walk the whole house and you create this video. So then you could do a blast out for an open house. This is coming on Tuesday. Come check it out. You put the address in there. I already saw that. How long are these videos typically?
About a minute to a minute and a half.
Okay, gotcha.
It's short enough. It's long and short enough, basically, to gain the interest to your potential buyer to come in and actually want to see the property.
I like to say they're little mini commercials for the house.
Yeah, I love
just
it.
A glimpse.
Yeah, I love it. And it does. And it's better than a still photo. It's just such a different perspective that when you have it, and it's got a nice wine cellar, so I'm interested in that house right away.
I think it already sold, so sorry.
All right. So that means your data worked, your technology worked. 3D renderings, let's talk about that.
So the 3D rendering could be anywhere from someone, so we worked with a few different agents on this where the concept was we're building a condo complex on the beach. Here's my floor plans. Can you make it look like what it needs to be?
Okay.
This project
So
is
this is
actually a
Pre-construction or?
yeah, it's mid construction. It was a flip. someone
Love it.
that we work with was doing, and they wanted to pre-market it before it was finished.
I love it.
So they said, okay, so our floors are going to be like this color. We're using this color for our cabinets and our countertops, and this is what the layout's going to be. Can you make it happen? And we said, absolutely. So the top photos are the ones we went and took with our camera. The bottom photos are the ones that we created.
Wow.
That's amazing. So you can start to get interest in a home before it's even finished.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
I love it. So if you know the types of cabinets and what they're doing, are you trying to kind of match up close to what they're doing?
Yeah, it can't always be exact, but
Sure.
we get as close as possible.
That's awesome. I think it's great. And there's house flippers out there that I can think of half a dozen here that probably have no idea about this. And this is something that they should see and something they should be part of, because anyone who's doing a house flip, they actually want to get that in. They want to renovate it, move on next, and cash out and move on.
Yep.
This is something because people have a tough time seeing where that house is going to go. And this here really kind of shows you at the end.
The other thing, you can take it one step further. So if you don't have the shell yet, but you have the structure, like you're just basically to the studs, because we've done this before. You go in, we'll go in and do the floor plan, get all the dimensions,
Wow.
and then we can still build,
This is what this will look like.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So if somebody out there wants to work with you guys, what's really, I mean, are you guys at capacity? Do you still have room to take on new clients? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I don't think we'd ever turn anyone away. If it came down to it, we'd obviously continue. Our goal is to grow. So worst case scenario, it's a good problem to have. We'd hire another photographer.
Right. Okay. And here's the best way to connect with you guys: cell or text. That comes right into you guys. And then to email you is support@sandbconnections.com. And is it safe to say that you guys can work 7 days a week? I know we don't want to, but in this business, if the client there only wants you in on a Saturday, are you guys working on a Saturday?
Yeah, so I mean, we try our best to have time with our children, but we do make exceptions. And if there are those times when people are like, "No, I'm sorry, I can only do Saturday," and we'll say, "Okay, that's cool. We'll be there. We'll figure it out." We always do. We go above and beyond.
So this is a family-run business. I've known these guys for over a decade. We've worked together. I've seen their work. They're absolutely fantastic. I love them as friends, and I love having them be part of our first podcast and for setting this up. But I'd like to thank you guys. I think you do an incredible job out there. I know that you've worked with school districts, and I know that you've worked all over the state of New Hampshire, Maine, and Mass. And I'm proud to be your friend, and I'm excited to see where 2020 brings us, or 2022 brings us. So definitely. But I appreciate you guys coming in today. Any last words of wisdom or anything that hey, call us. We'll give you a discount on that next one. Use us, try us. If you haven't done it, then you should definitely call these guys. So it's Brandon and Cherie. Thanks for joining us today, and Patrick, thanks for jumping in on this as well too. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Brian.
You bet. Bye-bye.